This past year, I got diagnosed with ADHD. They invited me into stepping into the director's role. I felt like I had not been intentional with having my creative hobbies that I love. I spoke to a crowd of about 175 students, which was great. It was a wonderful turnout, and I can honestly say I feel like it has changed my life so much. Hello friends, it's Jara. Welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, my name is Jara and I make videos about faith, healing from sexual brokenness and shame. Also some lifestyle things like slow living and home things here and there too. So make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new. It feels so bizarre to do my intro because I don't even know how long it has been since I have filmed a video, sadly. I honestly really miss it. I miss you guys. I am not here today fully committing to the consistency of what I will be posting yet because I don't know how realistic that would be. But I'm just driving home from church and I just had the thought of why don't I just set my camera up and film a quick little video to chat with you guys and check in about how life's been going and how things have been changing in my ministry work and personal life and all of those things. So yeah, let's get into it. I don't really have a outlined idea of what I'll be chatting with, so I guess we'll just see where this goes. But Happy New Year, guys. It is crazy to me that it's 2026 now, which means it's been 6 years ago since I first started my recovery journey, which is wild. A lot has been happening over this past year, and I'm really grateful. Every day I'm grateful and amazed with how the Lord has been using my story and working through me. It's all Him. None of this is from me. But I'm grateful for how He's been stepping in and working in our ministry in such amazing ways. So last year, about a year ago, last January is when I connected with 423 Communities for the first time, and they welcomed me on to lead over their women's program. So 423, our whole mission is helping people walk through sexual brokenness, such as pornography addiction, masturbation, other types of unhealthy sexual cycles, such as having sex outside of marriage or things like that as well. So I stepped in and they hired me on as their women's coordinator, which that role starting off was supposed to be a little bit more of a starting point of, hey, let's see how you step into this. And I had never honestly led anything similar before. Working in ministry was brand new to me. I had started a women's group at my church, but that compared to leading a nonprofit program for women was totally different for me. So they were like, let's step into this, see how it goes, and then from there in the future we could talk about if you wanted to step into more of the director's role. So whenever I was joined on, my main responsibilities was helping form new groups, onboard members, and then making sure the members are receiving the care that they need. And kind of over the last year, maybe halfway through or so, once I had a good foundation of those types of processes and how I'm getting my onboarding going, I started to step into some of the bigger responsibilities, such as creating new resources for our women. I've been fundraising this whole time for my role, all those things, and I just kind of started to take on those bigger responsibilities. And so as this year had come to an end, we were having discussions about my role and how this past year had went, and they invited me into stepping into the director's role. So now I'm the women's director over the whole program. Started off as that coordinator. Now my responsibilities include all of the things that it already was, but now there's additional layers of that where developing curriculum for our program. I am working with other ministries to develop partnerships. I'm working on creating different presentations for events like speaking at churches or universities. I actually had the privilege of going to speak at a university last fall in Texas, which was such a honestly amazing experience to have that type of discussion. Me and our youth director, Ben, he's over like college and youth specifically, and we did a presentation together on renewing your mind. So we talked a lot about the science of addiction and how those cycles kind of play out in our minds. And then we also had a Q&A session at the end with the students, and we spoke to a crowd of about 175 students, which was great. It was a wonderful turnout. The university said they typically only had about 75 students show up, so it was like 100 more than they usually expected, which was awesome. And so more things like that, like I loved getting to go and speak with the students, and also outlining how we could have different women-specific events at different churches and things like that. So there's a lot in store for this upcoming year. I do send out a monthly newsletter. If you wanted to keep up to date with how my ministry is going, how you can support it, how you can pray for us, just kind of see how the program is going and the women that we are impacting and how their lives are changing, I will have it linked below where you can sign up to receive those newsletters. And I also have a ministry support page, a website page that I've created that just gives a great overview of the work that we are doing. Like, what is my role? What is my story? What do we do at 423 Women? How can you be a part of it? How could you sponsor a woman's journey? All of those type of things. So I'll link that below as well. And so, yeah, this past year, the Lord has really just been working through 423 Women and continues to reveal more and more to me of how we can try to connect with these women better. How can we better serve them? All of those things. Last year I was almost starting from scratch-ish, I guess you could say. We had women's groups available pretty much from the start of when our nonprofit started, but there hadn't really been a woman step in who fully took over the program in the way that I am, in terms of having women-specific curriculums and all of those things. So whenever I joined on, where I was starting from wasn't scratch, but in terms of it being women-specific, it was from scratch, because all of my references and examples that I was working off of was from the men's curriculum and the men's groups, which obviously wasn't ideal. I'm actually very passionate about presenting women who are struggling in sexual brokenness with women-focused verbiage, illustrations. Just, we deserve as women to be able to see ourselves in what's being presented to us to help us. We've had 24 women come through the program last year. Whenever I started, when I was joining on, we had one virtual group available that wasn't really going off curriculums anymore. It was a smaller group, less than 10 women. It was a virtual group, and they weren't going off any curriculums. They were pretty much just doing check-ins, no resources or workbooks, nothing like that. It was just check-ins. So whenever I stepped in, like I just said, it was kind of like from the base level. We launched 4 new groups over this past year, some virtual, some in person. 2 new virtual groups, 2 in-person groups connected to churches locally. 24 women joined on, came through 423. I trained 6 new women leaders, which is great, and raised over about $10,000 to help support my role. And so the Lord has been there every step of the way. Every single step of growth and seeing what an impact we're making is obviously all through Him, and I'm so grateful for that. So my life has really been just centered around ministry work. That's my day-to-day life of what I do. I still work very part-time hours. Right now I've been able to raise enough support to where I work about only 10 hours a week, which obviously as a director, we're looking at least having more of an established, 25 hours of what we need to support some of that deeper work I'm trying to work through. my next step is trying to raise enough support to at least do 15 hours, like kind of slowly step up to where I could get to that point of more of a set in stone, full part-time hours. So my life kind of looks like that. And then obviously spending time with my family. So my husband and our little almost 6-year-old now, which is crazy. He will be turning 6 this upcoming spring, which is so crazy to me. But we have a lot of family time, and with our dog Coda, I have been loving. Last year we planted our first ever flower garden, which was wonderful. I have also been working on more like enjoyable hobbies. Creative hobbies. I felt like I had not been intentional with having my creative hobbies that I love. Like, I'm such a creative person. That's really where I feel like I thrive, and I love it so much. And I felt like I had not been prioritizing that at all. And so this past year I'd gotten into scrapbooking, crochet specifically. Not to toot my own horn, I made this headband. I had made a lot of handmade gifts for my friends this year. Lately I've also been getting back into art, like watercolor, which I love. I'm excited because this spring we're going to do our flower garden again, but we're actually going to do them in raised beds. So I had done a flower garden in the front of our house, which had a like flower bed space. I had done zinnias, which was beautiful. They ended up, this is my first time planting flowers, so I'm not an expert. I didn't realize how tall they were really going to get. So I do want to do zinnias again, but I want to do them in the backyard in a raised bed instead. And then we're going to attempt to do vegetables for the first time ever this year. I have low expectations because living in Oklahoma, you know, a lot of my friends and family who've tried to do vegetables, they have struggled. I don't have high expectations for that, but we'll just see how it goes. Also a bigger, I guess, random development I guess I could share right now, because I've just thought of this off topic for sure. This past year, I got diagnosed with ADHD. And in the fall, like in October, I got on medication for the first time in my life. And I can honestly say, I feel like it has changed my life so much. It was a little bit harder in the beginning. I've never been on any type of medication like this before, no mental health medications, nothing like that. But once I got adjusted to the dosage and my body kind of got into the rhythm of it, I feel like just such a cloud has been lifted off of me. I never knew I had ADHD my whole life. I never had that raised as a question or anything like that. It appears very differently in girls versus guys. I never even questioned if that was a thing for me. I had no idea. And in my therapy that I've been in now, going on over, I think 2 years, I've been with this specific therapist. During some of our things we talked about, I had a session last year where she was like, have you ever been tested for ADHD? And I was like, no. And I was like, I don't have ADHD. And through some screenings with her, it came back as moderately likely. And then she referred me to a psychiatrist where I was actually diagnosed and then put on medication. And I feel like looking back at my life now, I can see things so much differently, where I thought that I was just chronically depressed. Like, I thought it's normal for me. Like, this is just how my life is. I just have no energy, no motivation to do things. I feel sad all the time. I'm super emotional. I feel like everything affects me very heavily. And I thought that was just how I was. I thought I'm just emotional and I'm just depressed, I guess. And since I got on my meds, I really feel like my life has changed so much for the better. I felt like towards the end of that year, when it came to work with the ministry, I was just feeling kind of burnt out, defeated, a little bit like I have no plans, I have no ideas, I have no goals set forth. I'm just feeling like blah, you know? And when I was able to get on my medication, it just felt like my brain woke up out of this fog that I had been in for all of this time. And so I am so grateful for that, and seeing the way my brain has changed, my mental health has changed, everything has changed since then, and I'm so grateful for that. That's a big one for me. I need to go ahead and head home and spend the rest, finish out my afternoon with my boys, but I wanted to just hop on. I honestly miss this a lot. I do want to come back and start being more consistent. I always say that, of course, and then it's hard for me, but who knows? Maybe we'll see. Maybe I could start doing quick little videos here and there and touch base with you guys, because I do miss you, and I'm still have people reach out to talk about recovery and all of those things, so I'd love to be here as a resource and to have those conversations too. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys. I love you. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you guys on the next one. Have a great day.